an equal opportunity to speak and express their concerns, whether it's for or against, or if you have any input that you'd like to share. But I would ask that the audience please be courteous. Thank you. Next.
Good evening. I'm Hessie Harris, and I live in Silver Spring, Maryland. Tonight, it's been repeatedly suggested that illegal immigrants whose only crime has been committing a misdemeanor are being subject to detainers. There's been no substantive or specific ample examples provided. It has also been suggested that 287G undermines community policing, making illegal immigrants afraid to report crime in this state for fear of deportation. In this state, there is no real fear of such deportation. If there were, there would not be so many illegal aliens coming to Maryland. However, there is a fear that of the released criminal alien who may return to the immigrant community and prey upon the person who has reported a crime. Hence, 287G protects all residents from criminal behavior. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Craig Jean Grande, Record Street, Frederick, Maryland. I want to thank the sheriff and the board for having this open meeting. People can express themselves and have some discourse, hopefully respectful. I'm a father, a husband, and a local business owner. I'm also a second-generation American. I also have law enforcement experience, as I'm a former police officer and a current part-time officer at a shore town, and I assist with field training of recruits at a shore town. I support the Frederick County Sheriff's Office continuing partnership with ICE. In addition to being fiscally responsible, it's apparent to me to be a powerful tool to get illegal immigrants that have committed serious crimes off the street. We all read the papers and watch the media and see what violence and tragedy gang members can bring to communities. But it takes a law enforcement professional, almost exclusively alone, to truly see the true backdrop of what we're up against. I believe that border protection is predominantly a federal matter. I appreciate that the Frederick County Sheriff's Office conducts its 287G programs in a jail setting, not a street setting. Corrections officers, not deputies, are the ones trained and cleared to do the vetting process. After a police interaction that begins with reasonable suspicion, elevates to probable cause, and ends with an arrest for which the offender is lodged in jail, a lodgeable arrest, I believe proper procedures and safeguards are in place in order to uphold public safety. Again, I want to thank you for your commitment to the 287G Cooperative.
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening, Mary Posey, Myersville, Maryland. I came here to listen this evening as I did last year, and I'm going to end up sharing pretty much the same thing I said last year. The information on your website and what you had posted here, 287G program, it's called Functional Reading. I have no questions. I understood everything I read. I also want to thank all of you for your work. I want to thank our sheriff and all of his deputies for their work. And I want to say that the litmus test for the popularity of the 287G program is seen in the fact that every time our sheriff runs for office, he wins, and he wins by a large margin, and the office of sheriff is his until the day he no longer wants it. Thank you.
Danny Farrar, Walkersville, Maryland. Like Ms. Posey, I didn't come here to speak today. I actually came here to listen and get fact findings. I think that's how you're supposed to do things. I think you're supposed to listen to both sides and figure out what comes out of it. You know, I fought for this country. I went overseas to Iraq from 05 to 06. I was a firefighter in Montgomery County. I worked on a 16-year-old kid that was shot and watched him bleed out. His aorta died right in front of me. I know what the police officers and everything have to go through. And you know what I see when I look up here? We keep talking about racism. Look at that. That's a slice of America right there on top of that dais. It is It is diversified. You know, George Orwell said people sleep peacefully in their bed at night because rough men, and now, today's age, women, stand ready to do great violence upon their behalf. There is a reality out there, people, that there's things out there that y'all don't know, that you don't see. You're not going to see it. You're not going to get it through a PowerPoint. You're not going to get it unless you look those folks right in your eyes. I'm going to tell you, I love this county. I moved here 10 years ago and fell in love with it. This county gave me a second chance at life. I was embarrassed today. I was embarrassed on one side that we addressed a black man in here as black man. I mean, what common sense did we have to do that today? And then the second thing that I was embarrassed about is that we couldn't follow simple civil procedures. Emotion cannot reason with logic. And when we come into these situations emotionally charged, and we will not give the other side a chance to actually articulate their points. The lady right there, Trish, said she did an independent audit. She explained how the audit was independent. And yet everyone keeps coming up here and goes, there's no external independent audit. They explained how it was independent. So my only thing is, I'm not here to try to change your mind. I'm not here to make you believe in 287 or not believe in 287. All I'm asking you to do, you want to talk about make America better? Start right here. Be civil with each other. Listen to each other and talk to each other. And you know what? If you have those conversations genuinely, you might actually someday change somebody's mind on 287. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Richard Kapowitz. I'm a resident of Frederick County. We have a government in which lying has become a feature of government. I'm here to do some fact-checking. Young woman stated that people are leaving Montgomery County because of MS-13. Census Bureau. County added more than 10,000 people last year, estimates by the Census Bureau. The county population has risen every year since 2010. Montgomery County is not losing residents because of MS-13. Young man from Frederick High School got up and talked about recruitment by MS-13. How much recruitment in your school is being done by neo-Nazis, alt-right, white nationalist groups? Because the kids I talk to tell me they are being approached by those groups. And there's no talk anywhere about that. I'm more fearful of the alt-right, as a gentleman who gave the facts that 57 of the mass shootings were white males. Third, we keep talking about you haven't gotten any complaints, Sheriff Jenkins. We've already talked about the fear that exists in this county. So let me offer a solution. Create a citizens board whose charter is not to expose the names or identities of those that come forward. That is their charge. They are to fully investigate any crimes that are committed or alleged to be committed by your officers in violation of the guidelines of the ICE program and report their conclusions to you. That puts a shield that takes away the fear of reporting it to you and having an ICE officer show up the next day, and that gives you the realistic data that these people continue to tell you is happening in this county. People live in fear. Immigrants that I have worked with, legal immigrants, have been asked for papers. It happens. You may not believe it, but no one wants to report it because they think you're going to ICE and they're going out.
Thank you.
Just a comment. Sir, if they're legal immigrants, I'm just a little confused, I guess. You're saying that legal immigrants are in fear of being removed? Can you clarify that, please?
Legal immigrants, and I've worked with some, have told me that they are afraid that ICE is going to ask them to do as McCarthy did, name names. That they will be asked to name names. Now, whether that's a valid fear or not, it exists, and you have to deal with it. Your organization, ICE, has created such fear with locking up children, taking children away from their parents, that no one trusts that if they are a legal immigrant, that they will not be asked to report. And you have to deal with that fear. And the way to deal with that fear is an independent citizen board that reports all these crimes to the sheriff that he can have investigated but never know who is reporting it to take away that fear element. And I
Would you-
dare you to do that program.
So, sir. So just really quick, if you don't mind, if you could stay behind, I just want to wrap my head around exactly what it is you're complaining about. So I want to get a clear understanding afterwards. If you want to stay back,
The
and we
clear
can chat.
understanding is everyone who's gotten up and said they know someone who may not be an undocumented person. No one in this country is illegal. We are all human beings. Someone who is undocumented, who has received unfair or improper treatment by the sheriff's office, by any legal entity, who has fear of that and fear of the consequences and will not step forward for that reason. The people I know who are Hispanic and are legal have fear every single day of being stopped purely because they speak another language.
Okay, so again, if you could stay after and we can have a conversation, I'd like to hear more separately. Next.
Okay.
Your time is up. Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Chen Chu. I live in Montgomery County, and I was fortunate enough to visit the Frederick County Jail 287G program. I'm here to testify that whatever Sheriff Jenkins said is true, but I was a little upset that the illegal alien was treated better than American citizens, because illegal aliens has to follow the federal criteria, and American citizens only follow Frederick County criteria. So I was a little upset. I am here to fully support the program, and I want to point out, as a legal immigrant, that illegal immigration is not victimless crime. I'll give you a couple examples. Lake Forest Mall, a investor bought it for $100 million at 2012. 5 years later, it was sold at auction block for $20 million. That area, illegal immigrant congregate. So $80 million lost, the investor, okay? And Montgomery Village area, where illegal immigrants congregate, there were 2 high school schooler last year was shot by 55 bullets at the night of the prom. I'm at the Citizen Advisory Board. Senior citizens came to the board, begged the police to do something because their house was underwater, they couldn't afford to sell, and they're afraid of their lives. Okay? These are American people. They are afraid of their lives because of illegal immigrants. They are the victim. Okay? And let alone the gang rape by the illegal alien to a 14-year-old American girl in
Thank you.
MCPS facility.
Thank you,
So,
sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Next.
Hello, Sheriff and Board. My name is Joe Parsley. I live in Frederick, Maryland. I'm going to talk about this from an economic standpoint of a small business guy. I've been out here on the Golden Mile in Frederick for 34 years, have hired all kinds of people. To my knowledge, I am not allowed to hire anyone that does not have the proper credentials, the I-9 form, the things that they need to fill out so that they can be hired. Why in the world would we allow people to come into our county that are not even allowed to work here and be able to support themselves? Economically speaking, that money's going to come from all the taxpayers that now have to take care of them, or there's a black market, an underground market that goes on. If the federal government wants to correct that issue, great. Right now, that is the law, that is the rule. Sheriff, your program, I think, does a tremendous job. I would highly recommend you maintain it. I think Frederick County benefits very much from it. As a small business guy, again, if I hire illegal aliens without proper documentation, I can have my license taken, my business license taken away from me. And I don't see how in the world we can keep this we can keep operating like this. Something has to change. I don't know what it is, but something has to change. You do have people that are suffering, that are hurting. And, I mean, you can hear that and see that with people talking here tonight. So right now, the law is what it is. We need to enforce it. And I applaud you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, excuse me. Before the last two gentlemen speak, is there anybody else that's interested in speaking? If you are, make your way up to the wall, please, behind the podium.
My name is Calvin Fisher. I'm a resident of Frederick City. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out here, spending time away from your family to engage on this important issue. First, I would like to say that I think we do need to look at statistics more, because when we look at these anecdotes of particularly gruesome crimes, we naturally have an instinctual reaction. But I think it's important to do policy from a sound mind, a sound thinking, and if we're just reacting, I don't think we're actually approaching any situation appropriately. Second, I would like to offer that 287G does have an impact on law enforcement outside of the detention center. For example, I was working in the detention center and I overheard a conversation of some officers who had just brought some individuals in to go through the process. These individuals were detained or arrested because they had alcoholic beverages in a park, and one of the officers was very confused. He was saying, why are these people here in the detention center when they should just have a citation? A more wise officer noted that these individuals could now be placed through the 287G program, and we could see if any of them have any outstanding orders of removal, or if they're even just an undocumented immigrant. And fortunately for those individuals, there was a U.S. citizen who was picked up for this reason, and then 2 lawful permanent residents, so there was no collateral damage. But I do think it is important to understand that this one program, even though it is limited in geographical scope to the detention center, does have outside ramifications on how our law enforcement officers are treating us in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who made the arrest for drinking in the park?
I can go through my records and bring it to you. I don't know. I would guess it's the Frederick Police, but I really don't know, so I'll have to check my records.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, I believe you've already spoken. Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Cole Siervo, and I recently graduated from Frederick High School. I'd just like to say that I'm thankful to have grown up in Frederick County as opposed to someplace like Montgomery County, where the crime rate is much higher. And with regards to statistics, I'd like to point out that a lot of statistics have been brought forth tonight, but what's important are the per capita statistics. And a gentleman up here noted some statistics that despite illegal aliens being approximately 3% of the population, they're much more likely to commit crimes, and they commit a disproportionate amount of crime. So I thank you for the work you're doing in removing illegal aliens from our county. And furthermore, I would like to say that I was recently accepted to the University of Maryland in College Park, which, as you all know, is in Prince George's County, and I recently declined to go there, and instead I'm going into college at a different county, in a different state, with a much lower crime rate and with many fewer illegal aliens. So thank you for the work you're doing. Keep it up, and I'd like to see more work done from ICE. Thank you.
Thank you.
This will be our last
Is there anybody, this is last call, is there anybody else? I want to allow you the opportunity to come up. Anybody else?
Hey Chuck, I just add what I wanted to check before, but
No, I really can't do it. Sorry.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Good evening, everyone.
Me hubiese gustado que esta reunión fuera para compartir todo sin importar raza, color o lenguaje.
Un poco más lento.
Me hubiese gustado que esta reunión fuera para compartir sin importar país, lenguaje o color.
I was just meaning was for everyone to express their opinion regardless of race, country of origin, etc.
Lamentablemente las cosas no son así.
Realistically, that's not how things are.
No iba a pasar porque respeto la opinión de cada quien,
It's not going to happen because I respect everyone's opinion.
pero pasé porque a mi hija la llamaron mentirosa.
I came up because you all called my daughter a liar.
Yo soy la mamá de Flor María,
I am Flora Maria Marzler.
tengo 30 años de estar en este país.
I've been in this country for 30 years.
Agradezco mucho a Estados Unidos de América,
I appreciate greatly the United States of America.
pero hay cosas que ni usted ni yo podemos cambiar,
But there are things that neither you and I can change.
porque este mundo está saturado de odio, rencor y discriminación.
Because this world is saturated with hate and discrimination.
Usted discrimina al que está alrededor y dice, no, no lo discrimino, pero sí lo está discriminando.
You all look at the people around you who are saying that they're being discriminated against, and you actively discriminate against them, but then deny it.
Ustedes pueden ver esta tarjetita todos.
Can you all see this card?
Esta tarjetita la tuve que sacar de esta manera y mantenerla en mi wallet, porque lo que estaba sucediendo era algo terrible.
That's a passport card, by the way. She said this is what she had to do. She had to take it out during the stop, just like this.
No, we're going to let her have time. I want to hear her story here.
Y aquí tengo también el ticket que me puso el policía y me pidió el pasaporte.
This is also the ticket that the same officer who asked for my passport.
Estaba tan molesto que lo rompió.
The officer was so angry that he ripped up the ticket.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, could you, hey, hold up, hey.
All
Okay,
right,
listen,
let's
ma'am,
be
or
civil.
sir, could you ask her to stay around and see if, I'd like to see the ticket. Okay, I think we have one more speaker.
Next. Hi, my name is Joanna LaFollette. I'm a Frederick County resident. And I just want to add, with everything that's going on across the country regarding ICE and how families have been separated from parents, kids separated from parents, those type of things are happening with ICE. And I think we need to be on the right side of history and not participate in a program that has those type of policies. Thank you.
Thank you.
So again,
So that's
just
good.
for clarification, with respect to the 287G program, quiet please. Would you like to be excused or would you like to continue? Can you please put down your sign? It's really getting a little annoying at this point. So it's late. We've been working all day. We're here to try to listen and to be courteous, and we expect the same from you. Common courtesy, it goes a long way. So again, with respect to the 287G program, let's try to stay on topic and speak to the 287G program. If you have any specific questions, we'll be here for a little bit after the meeting if you'd like to speak to us individually. Do you have anything to add?
Anybody up here have any comments you want to make up here on the dais? Sir? Yeah? No, okay. Nothing. Okay, let me wrap things up a little bit. First of all, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I certainly thank you for your input, your comments, and I know that many of you don't agree with the program, many of you do. It is a very controversial program, but it is all about public safety. It's all about the rule of law. It's all about not allowing criminals to be returned to our streets here in Frederick County to commit more crimes against our citizens. Okay? It's a tool that law enforcement has the discretion to use, and as your sheriff, as all of your sheriff, I have the discretion, actually the obligation, to use every tool at my disposal to keep everybody in this county safe, including those of you that disagree with this program. So for those of you that want to call me a racist, because when you have no other argument, that's always the fallback argument. I get that. I understand that, okay? And this program, before I came into office, was an unknown, and probably nobody would have heard of it, but I really believe this is the right thing to do for this county, to keep this county safe, so that you can raise your families, and you can work, and you can live, and you can have a great quality of life here in Frederick County, and I will stand on that decision. And I would invite anybody who has one of these stories of someone who's been profiled, discriminated against, mistreated, you can come into my office with them. Bring them with you. Okay? I'll certainly entertain that conversation, and I will take that complaint very seriously. It'll be handled appropriately. So I'm going to wrap up tonight by saying again, thank you for coming out. I think it's been a... Listen, I've gone farther than ICE even wanted me to go with this. Right? No, I mean in terms of... No, I mean in terms of what we presented, because everything presented here tonight should dispel all this information that's floating around out there. This is an election year, and that's all you're going to hear is rhetoric and misinformation. You want the truth, come to me, I'll give you the truth. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for those who traveled from out of county, and please travel safely going home. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.